It's a word we all know too well, isn't it? It creeps into our lives like a shadow, unseen, but always present, ready to disrupt our peace. We often blame the outside world for it. Our jobs, our relationships, the endless demands we face every day. But here's the truth that most of us avoid. Stress isn't something happening to us. It's something happening within us. Think about the last time stress overtook you. Was it a comment from a colleague? A delay in traffic? Or perhaps an unexpected change in plans? In that moment, did you feel as though the world was spinning out of control? What if I told you that the key to breaking free from this cycle isn't trying to control the world around you, but mastering what's inside your own mind? The Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, understood this better than anyone. In times of war, political upheaval, and personal strife, they found a way to maintain a profound sense of inner calm. Not because the world around them was perfect, but because they had learned to control their responses to life's challenges. This video is about reclaiming that control, finding the peace that has always been within you. No matter how chaotic life may seem, you have the power to respond with calm and clarity. Today, I'll share with you the Stoic philosophy that can help you break free from the grip of stress and find true peace, no matter what the world throws your way. 1. The reality of stress. It's not the outside world, it's inside you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt overwhelmed by stress? Perhaps it was a tight deadline at work, or maybe it was an argument with someone close to you. We often tell ourselves that stress is caused by these external events. The job, the people, the circumstances we face. It feels like it's happening to us, right? But what if I told you that the true cause of stress isn't the outside world? It's what's happening inside of you. You see, stress isn't something that's simply imposed upon you by the world. It's a reaction, an internal response to what's going on around you. When we feel stressed, we believe that it's the events, the people, or the challenges that are to blame. But here's the powerful truth. The way you respond to the world is what determines the level of stress you feel. And that's where your real power lies. Think about it. You've probably had moments where a comment from a stranger completely ruined your mood, or a small inconvenience made your whole day feel like it was falling apart. And yet, there are also times when you faced far greater challenges and somehow managed to remain calm, composed, and in control. What changed? It wasn't the world around you, it was you. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and emperor of Rome, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple but profound statement holds the key to understanding stress. You cannot control the people you interact with, the demands placed on you, or the unexpected hurdles life throws your way. But you do have absolute control over how you choose to respond. It's easy to blame the outside world when things aren't going the way we want. We say, "This isn't fair. Life is hard. Why is everything against me?" But the Stoic way of thinking teaches you to look inward, to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Stress doesn't arise from what happens to you. It comes from how you interpret those events. The beauty of this is that once you begin to understand that stress is born inside you, you also realize that you have the power to change it. You have the power to change the way you perceive situations, the way you react to challenges, and most importantly, how you protect your peace. I know it's not easy. The world constantly bombards us with distractions, pressures, and expectations. But you must remember, your peace is yours to protect. The more you allow the outside world to dictate your internal state, the more stress you will feel. But when you start taking control of your inner world, stress loses its power over you. Here's where the shift happens. Stress is not an external force trying to break you. It's an invitation for you to look inward and find strength, resilience, and control that you didn't know you had. It's a sign that there's something inside you that needs attention, something you can change, something you can master. By learning to manage your internal responses, you begin to see that the external world becomes less significant. The noise, the chaos, the things that once seemed so overwhelming, they no longer have the same impact. You realize that you have a choice in every situation. You can choose peace, you can choose calm, and most importantly, you can choose to reclaim your power. So the next time you feel stressed, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this stress coming from the outside world, or is it a reaction inside of me? In that moment of awareness, you begin the journey of taking control. You start the process of reprogramming your mind to see beyond the external noise and to focus on the only thing you can truly control, yourself. Remember, the reality of stress isn't in the circumstances you face. It's in how you respond to them. And when you master that, when you take responsibility for your reactions, you will find a level of calm and peace that's always been within you, waiting to be unlocked. You are not a victim of stress. You are the master of it. And in this realization, you will find your strength. 2. Radical responsibility. Stop waiting for life to calm down. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, if only life would calm down, I could finally find peace? Maybe you've been waiting for the right moment, a time when everything aligns perfectly, and the chaos settles, the pressure eases, and your responsibilities shrink. You've probably convinced yourself that if the outside world could just give you a break, then you could finally be at ease. But here's the hard truth. That moment will never come. Life will never be free of challenges, noise, or demands. The truth is, you'll always be facing something, whether it's the stress of work, relationship tensions, or the constant pressure to do more and be more. Waiting for the world to calm down before you take control of your peace is a recipe for a life spent in constant frustration. It's a trap that keeps you stuck. The only real way to find peace, to live without constant stress, is by taking radical responsibility. This means you stop waiting for external circumstances to change. Instead, you step up and take full responsibility for how you respond to life, regardless of how chaotic or unpredictable it may be. This shift in mindset is where real power begins. You see, we often look to the outside world to justify how we feel. I'm stressed because of my job. I'm overwhelmed because of my family. I'm frustrated because of this or that. It's easy to blame the world around you, but that's disempowering. It places your peace in the hands of circumstances beyond your control. When you do this, you're essentially giving away your personal power. You're waiting for things to change instead of changing yourself. Radical responsibility, on the other hand, is about taking ownership of your own reactions. It's about realizing that the stress you feel is a result of your responses, not the situations themselves. The people in your life, the challenges you face, and the events that unfold, they don't control your peace unless you allow them to. You have the ability to choose how you react to each moment, no matter what's happening around you. I know this may sound difficult at first. After all, the world can feel overwhelming. The pressures of life can weigh heavily on your shoulders. But once you embrace the idea of radical responsibility, something incredible happens. You stop being a victim of circumstances. You begin to realize that you are in charge of your own inner world. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or bottling up your stress. Rather, it means acknowledging that you are the one who chooses how to deal with those feelings. You have the power to decide whether to react with frustration or with calm, whether to let things overwhelm you or to let them roll off your back. It also means accepting that peace doesn't come from waiting for the world to slow down. It comes from deciding to live in the present moment, right where you are, and finding peace within yourself. You stop waiting for the conditions of your life to be perfect before you take control. Instead, you start living fully in the chaos, knowing that you have the power to remain grounded, no matter what's happening around you. Take a moment to reflect. How often have you caught yourself saying, "If only X happened, then I'd be happy. If only I had a better job. If only my relationships were smoother. If only I didn't have so much on my plate." You've probably said it more times than you can count. But what if you shifted your thinking? What if you stopped waiting for life to be perfect before you gave yourself permission to be at peace? Here's the beauty of radical responsibility. When you start taking control of your reactions, the world around you may not change, but your experience of it will. The noise, the chaos, the frustrations, they won't have the same power over you anymore. You'll stop waiting for the world to give you peace. You'll stop relying on external circumstances to dictate how you feel. Instead, you'll realize that you hold the key to your own calm. The more you practice radical responsibility, the stronger you'll become. You'll start to feel less helpless in the face of stress and more empowered to handle whatever life throws your way. You'll stop letting stress control you, and instead, you'll start mastering it. It's not about eliminating stress entirely. That would be unrealistic. It's about learning to navigate it with grace, composure, and strength. So today, I want you to ask yourself, how much longer are you willing to wait for life to calm down before you take control? How much longer will you let external circumstances dictate your peace? The moment you stop waiting and take responsibility for your own reactions, you'll start to experience the calm you've been searching for. The power has always been inside you. It's time to unlock it. 3. Stoic practices to manage stress, awareness, and perspective. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by a situation, feeling like the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders? Stress seems to be a constant companion, doesn't it? But here's the thing. Stress is not an external force acting upon you. It's a reaction, a mental construct, and Stoic philosophy offers you powerful tools to transform your response to it, to manage it in ways that free you from its control. The first practice to adopt is awareness. It's easy to let stress creep in unnoticed until it's already clouded your judgment and taken hold of your thoughts. But what if you could stop it before it even starts? What if you could catch the first signs of stress early and address them right then and there? This is where awareness becomes your ally. Awareness begins with tuning into your thoughts and feelings. It's about noticing how certain situations trigger stress, how your body responds, and how your mind races. The Stoics believed that by simply being aware of our thoughts, we gain the power to choose our reactions. When you become aware of the early stirrings of stress, you can stop and ask yourself, is this truly something I can control? More often than not, the answer will be no. And with that realization, you can immediately begin to let go of what you cannot change. It's important to recognize that not all stress is harmful. Stress can be a natural response to challenges, pushing you to rise to the occasion. But it becomes destructive when it spirals out of control, when it overwhelms you, and when you let it dictate your actions and thoughts. This is why awareness is so critical. It allows you to stay in control of your emotions and reactions. Once you've cultivated awareness, the next step is to shift your perspective. The Stoics often talked about the idea of minding your own business. What this means is recognizing that there are things in life you can control, and then there are things you cannot. Stress typically arises when we try to control the uncontrollable. When you start to view situations from the Stoic perspective, you realize that much of your stress comes from your attachment to outcomes you have no power over. Think about a stressful situation you've encountered recently. Maybe it was work-related, or perhaps something personal. How much of that situation was within your control? How much of it did you try to force or manipulate? The Stoics taught that you should focus only on what you can change: your own thoughts, your own actions, your own responses. Everything outside of that is simply not yours to control. By shifting your perspective, you begin to see things in a new light. You start to separate your inner peace from external circumstances. You start to accept that the world will always be unpredictable, but your reactions to it don't have to be. Stress begins to lose its grip on you when you stop seeing it as something happening to you and start seeing it as something that is within your power to change. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are the active participant, the one who decides how you will respond. The Stoic practice of perspective also involves negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive, but bear with me. Negative visualization is about imagining the worst-case scenario, not to dwell in fear, but to prepare yourself for it. When you mentally rehearse difficult situations, you begin to see them as less threatening. You start to build resilience, knowing that whatever happens, you'll be okay. This practice helps you embrace the uncertainty of life and stop fearing what's out of your control. But here's the beauty of this Stoic approach. When you change your perspective, stress no longer has the power to dominate you. Instead, you become the master of your inner world. When life throws obstacles in your way, you respond not with panic, but with calm resolve. You are no longer overwhelmed by life's demands. You meet them with clarity, purpose, and a sense of peace. As you move through life, remember that awareness and perspective are tools you can always use to manage stress. Every time you feel stress creeping in, pause and check in with yourself. What's really happening inside? What thoughts are you holding on to? Are they helping or hindering your peace? When you start asking these questions, you shift from being a victim of stress to being its conqueror. Remember, stress doesn't control you unless you allow it. When you practice awareness and shift your perspective, you regain control. The world will continue to bring challenges and pressures, but with these Stoic practices, you'll find yourself facing them with a sense of calm, strength, and inner peace. In the end, it's not about eliminating stress completely. It's about learning to manage it, and you have the power within you to do just that. Through awareness and perspective, you can change your relationship with stress, turning it from a force that overwhelms you into a force that empowers you. You are capable of so much more than you realize. 4. Focus on what you can control. Let go of the uncontrollable. You've probably experienced it before, the frustration of wanting to change something, only to feel powerless as it slips further out of your grasp. The anxiety that comes with trying to control things you have no control over. But here's the truth you need to hear. The key to peace, to calm, to freedom from stress, is not in trying to control everything around you. It's in learning to focus on what you can control and letting go of everything else. When life feels chaotic, it's easy to get lost in the illusion that if you just try hard enough, you can fix everything. That's the trap. You can't control the traffic. You can't control the weather. You can't control the opinions of others. You can't even control the outcome of many of your own actions, but you can control how you respond to them. This is where your true power lies. Take a moment and think about a situation that's been stressing you out. What aspects of that situation are truly under your control? The truth is, it might not be as much as you think. Maybe you can't change how someone else behaves, but you can decide how you'll react to them. Maybe you can't change the outcome of a project at work, but you can control the effort you put into it. Maybe you can't change the way the world is, but you can change how you move through it. The Stoic philosophers understood this better than anyone. They taught that the only thing truly within your control is your own actions, thoughts, and responses. And once you accept this, you unlock a profound sense of freedom. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change, and you start directing that energy into things you can, things that move you forward and bring you peace. The stress that overwhelms you is often a result of focusing on what's outside your control. You get caught in the cycle of worrying about outcomes, trying to predict what will happen, trying to avoid every possible risk. But here's the thing. You can never fully predict or control the future, and that's okay. In fact, that's exactly why your power lies in the present moment, in choosing how you will act and respond right now. Letting go of the uncontrollable doesn't mean you stop caring or that you give up. It means you acknowledge the reality that some things are simply beyond your reach. And that's okay. In fact, it's a relief. When you let go of the need to control everything, you make space for peace. You free yourself from the weight of expectation and perfectionism. You can breathe easier because you're no longer carrying the burden of things you can't change. So, how do you start focusing on what you can control? It begins with a shift in mindset. Start by asking yourself, what is in my power to change? And as you identify those things, put all your energy into them. Be deliberate in your actions. Commit to giving your best to the things that matter most to you. Whether it's your work, your relationships, or your health, you have the ability to choose how you show up in each of these areas. You can choose to respond thoughtfully, to act with integrity, and to invest your energy wisely. But remember, this isn't about perfection. You don't have to be flawless in everything you do. The Stoics were clear about this. They understood that mistakes are part of the journey. What matters is the intention behind your actions and the control you have over your responses. Your power lies not in never making a mistake, but in learning from them and staying focused on what you can do better next time. Now think about the things you've been holding on to, those things you've been trying to control. Maybe it's the need to please everyone, the desire for things to go according to your plan, or the fear of failure. What would it feel like to release that grip? What would it feel like to step back and let life unfold without trying to force it? Imagine the peace that could come with that. Imagine how much lighter you would feel, how much more space there would be in your mind to focus on the present, on what truly matters. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to control outcomes and start focusing on the process. You take ownership of your actions, of your responses, and of your mindset. And by doing so, you regain control over your own peace of mind. So today, choose to focus on what you can control. Stop wasting time on what's beyond your reach. Let go of the uncontrollable and redirect your energy toward the things that will bring you true fulfillment. You have the power to shape your own response to life. And in doing so, you create a life that is free from unnecessary stress. The world may be unpredictable, but you have the strength to remain centered, grounded, and at peace. 5. Voluntary discomfort, strengthening your mind through challenge. When was the last time you intentionally made yourself uncomfortable? When was the last time you chose to step out of your comfort zone, not because you had to, but because you knew it would make you stronger? This idea, though simple, holds a profound power to change your life. It's called voluntary discomfort, and it's one of the most transformative practices you can adopt to build resilience and manage stress. In a world where comfort is often glorified, the Stoic philosophers knew something crucial. True strength doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from embracing it, from facing challenges head-on and pushing yourself beyond what feels easy. This isn't about seeking out pain for the sake of pain. It's about choosing to grow by stepping outside the boundaries of what is familiar, by voluntarily subjecting yourself to situations that stretch your mind, your body, and your spirit. Think about it for a moment. When you face discomfort, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, you are given an opportunity. You can choose to shy away from it, or you can choose to embrace it as a tool for growth. In those moments of challenge, you are not just building your physical endurance or mental capacity. You are building your inner fortitude, your capacity to withstand the pressures and stresses of life with grace. This idea of voluntary discomfort is about developing a mindset that can handle life's inevitable struggles. It's about conditioning yourself to face adversity, knowing that on the other side, you will emerge stronger. Every challenge you take on, every discomfort you choose to endure, is an investment in your future self. And what's powerful is that this practice doesn't just prepare you for big challenges. It gives you the strength to handle the small ones with a calm and steady mind. You might wonder, why would you ever want to put yourself through discomfort on purpose? Isn't life hard enough already? The truth is, by deliberately making yourself uncomfortable in controlled ways, you begin to rewire your brain. You teach yourself that discomfort isn't something to fear, but something to welcome. It's a sign of growth, not failure. You begin to view discomfort not as a threat to your peace, but as an essential part of your journey toward mental and emotional strength. This could be as simple as pushing through a tough workout, choosing to walk when you'd rather drive, or sitting in silence with your thoughts when distractions beckon. It might be as challenging as practicing mindfulness through a difficult conversation, or taking on a project at work that stretches your abilities. It could even mean giving up some of your comforts, like sleeping on the floor for a night or fasting for a day, to remind yourself that you are capable of enduring more than you think. But here's the key. When you voluntarily embrace discomfort, you begin to train your mind to see it differently. Instead of shying away, you face it with courage and curiosity. You become aware of how much power you truly have. You start to realize that stress isn't something to run from, it's something to grow through. It's not about avoiding life's challenges, it's about learning how to face them with a steady heart and a clear mind. This practice also makes you more adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and things don't always go according to plan. But when you've intentionally subjected yourself to discomfort, you develop the resilience to adapt when things go wrong. You learn that discomfort doesn't last forever. You endure it, learn from it, and then move on. The world may throw curveballs your way, but your ability to respond to them with calm and composure becomes second nature. Imagine the impact this could have on your daily life. When you intentionally face discomfort, you begin to experience a shift. You no longer shrink when challenges appear. You rise to meet them. You start to see every difficulty as an opportunity to strengthen yourself. With each small challenge you conquer, your confidence grows. With each moment of discomfort you embrace, you realize how much power you hold within yourself. This practice, small as it may seem, has the potential to transform not only how you handle stress, but how you view yourself. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's at the mercy of life's circumstances. You start seeing yourself as someone who is fully capable of navigating through anything life throws at you. You are the captain of your own ship, and every discomfort you embrace is another step forward in mastering your own destiny. So today, challenge yourself. Take a step into voluntary discomfort. It might feel strange, or even a little scary, at first. But remember, it's in these moments that you become stronger. You become more resilient, and most importantly, you become the person you were always meant to be. Conclusion. As you reflect on everything we've discussed, remember this: stress is a part of life. It's inevitable. But how you respond to it, that's entirely up to you. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that our peace of mind doesn't come from trying to control everything around us, but from controlling how we react to life's challenges. It's about looking inward, taking responsibility for your thoughts and actions, and realizing that true power comes from within. You don't need to wait for the will to calm down. You don't need to rely on external circumstances to determine your peace. Instead, you have the ability to choose how you deal with the stress that comes your way. Through awareness and perspective, and by focusing on what you can control, you can transform stress from an overwhelming force into an opportunity for growth. By embracing discomfort and using it to strengthen your mind, you prepare yourself to handle any challenge life throws at you with calmness and clarity. You have the strength to face whatever comes because you've already started building it from within. Your journey isn't about avoiding stress, but about learning how to navigate it with grace, wisdom, and resilience. Thank you for taking this time to reflect on how you can manage stress through the lens of Stoic philosophy. I hope you feel inspired to take the first steps on this journey. You are capable of handling everything life throws at you, and more. Take a moment to appreciate the inner strength you possess. And remember, every challenge is just an opportunity to grow stronger. If this video resonated with you, please consider subscribing and sharing it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any personal insights you have on handling stress. Keep striving, stay strong, and remember, the power to live peacefully is already within you. Until next time.